So today is baking day. Every year we have a lot of traditions actually for Christmas. So this is one of them, and every year we all get together. So my parents and my brother and his family, my family, at my mom's house, usually at my parents' house, and we bake all of the baked goods for the week and the holiday and Christmas and New Year's and all the things. And it's a process. There are certain things that always have to be made, no matter what. They have to be made perfectly, no matter what. And it's all kind of chaotic and wild, right? And I thought that it would be nice since I just have that new kitchen thing, right? Just finished that up, offer to do the baking at my house because I have two ovens and this kitchen is the size of a two-car garage. And no, I'm not kidding. It's that big. So all of the counter space, all of the prep work, all of the sinks, all of the ovens, all the stuff. It's perfect. But what that means is I'm bringing the baking, one of the most important things of the year, to my house. And now I'm starting to worry. Like, do I even have stuff to bake stuff with? Like, do I have flour? That's happening today. So to say I'm stressed would be an understatement. Really? It's a lot. Of course, it has nothing to do with what we are doing today, but I am telling you this so you can share in my pain just for a minute before I go and figure out whether or not I have ruined something for my mom instead of doing something in the hopes of making it easier. I will tell you what we are doing in just a minute, but before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you're here for week 6 of year 3. This is a technique week, and today we are actually talking about discoloration, because the video that I was going to talk about that, the tea soaps, I ended up talking about allergies, and I apologize for that. But today, discoloration. We're going to talk about how to do it, how I do it, leaning into the discoloration of the fragrance and or the different clays that you put in, what to look for, and also what to do if things don't go exactly according to plan, because you can change things up on the fly. So let's get to the video and we can talk about all of those things there. Okay, today we are playing with discoloration while making a gingerbread latte soap, which is just so perfect for this time of the year. And I don't actually know what wholesale account this one is for, because I make a gingerbread latte soap for a bunch of people, really. But I'm pretty sure this is for Tacoma, Java, and, that's awesome and fun. But discoloration in soap. So this is a gingerbread latte soap. It's made with coffee first and foremost, but we've seen a whole lot of times how the coffee doesn't always yield a darker bar, right? But as you might imagine, using scents like gingerbread and coffee in a gingerbread latte soap, those will discolor because they're just known to do that thing. So I like to lean into that discoloration with my design. Ultimately, right, the name of the bar probably tips it off there. This is meant to look like a cup of coffee. So it's mostly going to be a dark color, right? So I have the coppers going on there and the caramels, and then obviously the white, creating a 4-color swirl, just an in the mold swirl. But that particular one, the white, has all of the kaolin clay inside of it, This one has a little bit of aretha powder, both of those two. And then this one has a nice copper mica. Now, I don't technically have to do this because I know that the scents that I'm using do discolor very dark. And so really what I could do is put no scent whatsoever in the white and then split the scent between the other three colors, loading up the, copper one more than the other two. And it's kind of what I end up doing anyway, although I do put a little bit into the white, and the discoloration will do all of the work for me. That said, it can be a really scary thing to just trust the process with something like this. So I did color this so you can see the differences between the four. Although the tea soap that we did does not have really any colors in any of the layers when we were doing that crazy cool tea soap with the weird mica line. Remember that weird mica line? That was fun. And you could already see that the discoloration because of the fragrance was working really beautifully. But, I'm going to give you these with the colors in them. And you notice how I separated the scent between mostly the three tan/copper colors for the pour itself and just put a little teeny tiny bit in with the white. And since the white has tons of kaolin, it shouldn't really discolor. Now, for the pour itself, I am going to be doing one of my most favorite pours in the world, and that is an in the mold swirl. Love in the mold swirls because every bar is different every time, and all of the swirls are beautiful, and you get some awesome soap Rorschach going on with all of it. But the technique for, just an in the mold swirl is exactly what you see now. You lay down your base color, and then you're going to alternate your other colors, however many accent colors you're doing, in kind of a back and forth from side to side. Now I'm thinking of a song, like an S pattern. So like an S curve through the middle of the, the mold there, and just continue layering your soap batter until you're happy. And the best thickness for this particular type of pour for the, soap batter would be thin to medium, not thick, because you don't get good swirls. And if you go too thin, kind of like this batter, the layers are not going to be as crisp. The swirls in between the colors are not going to be as crisp. They are going to muddy together. In this particular instance, I want it to muddy together, but if it got too terribly thin, if the batter was too terribly thin and I was pouring this, I do run the risk of the white getting quote unquote contaminated, like all of the white getting contaminated with the fragrance and all of it discoloring into, just a brown, which is what the gingerbread and the coffee will both do on their own. So you do have to look out for that, obviously, but with this, I'm not worried about it because this is a good thickness for this. So I would say that's properly just at a thin trace, not at an emulsion, and the colors are blending together well, so it looks like a nice cup of coffee with all of the beautiful whatever, but, not going to muddy too terribly much. So with this discoloration going on here, again, as I said, you don't really need to use the colors at all. You just need to work with the amounts of fragrance you put into each container, and you can totally be very specific about this. So if you have 2 ounces of scent that are going into a batch of soap, for example, and 4 colors, you could put 50% of that, so 1 full ounce, into your darkest color, and then half an ounce into your other 2 colors, and then none in the white, and it would do the discoloration thing all on its own. It really will, and I will show you that in just a minute when we go to the cut, because I'm going to show you one that I did using no color, so you can see that guy after we, show you this one, and it will be put in the oven right now for C-pop and gel and all the things. Okay, now on to the cut, and as you saw with that little teaser, yeah, this totally discolors even without the colors, but that's what this particular loaf of soap is going to do as well. Oh, that top was so pretty. I should have focused on that more. Bummer, that was a really beautifully sculpted top. But this particular soap, once you cut into it, right, because this area inside, it has not been exposed to air yet, and that's not dark enough for a coffee. I need that to discolor a whole bunch. And so you could look at that, you know, the first time you've ever played with stuff like this and go, oh no, it's fail. Just let it sit for a couple days, because as that teaser showed you, it will discolor. As soon as you actually get air to all areas of this, you know, bar of soap, the discoloration will start happening. And these particular soaps, because of the way that I divided the fragrance, again, I eyeballed it, but you don't have to do that. You can be very precise with it and weigh it all out so you know exactly how much scent is going into each portion. But because of the way that I separated these colors, no matter how much it discolors, none of the 4 sections are going to discolor to the same color, right? Because I divided those different. Like there was, again, let's say 50% and 100% and 225s. Sure. And so even with the discoloration, you're still going to get the really cool swirls that exist in all of this, even if it goes, you know, the base of it goes kind of dark. So lean into the discoloration. And I've said this a million times over the years or whatever, but seriously do it. Lean into the discoloration of a scent. Don't be afraid to use a scent just because it discolors. There are a lot of, you know, opportunities to use a dark soap or a discoloring, you know, scent in your line and still get some really stunning results like that. That is a soap that was made using no colors in any of it except for the white, the kaolin clay. But it was 2 or 3 days before I had made the one that we just cut, and it's already darkening up beautifully. And this one will do the same because, again, same scent. But yeah, don't be afraid to work with discoloration, and don't be afraid of overloading one section of your soap batter with scent and putting maybe none in another section. It all essentially comes out in the wash or cure. You get it. And there they are, some beautiful gingerbread latte soaps that are absolutely stunning. I love those so very much. And yeah, when you cut open the bar and it doesn't look like it worked, give it time. Give it a couple days for sure. As you can see, the difference in the discoloration, very significant. Just a bar from, you know, 2 days before the fresh one that I showed you. So it will definitely do its discoloration thing. I have yet to find a fragrance company, honestly, that says something discolors and then it doesn't discolor. I don't know that they really want to promote that it discolors if it doesn't, you know? So yeah, definitely trust the process. Mixing your blends is also a very good idea, or even eliminating the scent entirely from the areas that you don't want to discolor totally works. At the end of the day, as long as it's not the bulk of the soap batter, the extra fragrance load in the rest of the pieces, it all kinds of works itself out in the cure and everything is fine under most circumstances. So there's that. I hope you guys had a good time with the discoloration bar today. I appreciate you being here and being my normal before I have to go and, you know, admit to my mother that I am a grown-up and I don't have mixing bowls. I think that's going to happen. I might have time to go to the store though. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate my sudsers. You guys are awesome. You guys have kept me so sane during this, you know, part of the year, all the years, whatever. Just in the Discord, being able to chat with you guys and seeing you in the comments, it's always something that makes me smile in ways that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to fully explain. So thank you. I appreciate you. I'm out of here. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of Technique Soapy Fun. Bye.